I think the whole industry is moving to a point now where capital is going to drive pace. It's no longer regulatory uncertainty or tech or any of those things, product market fit, all those things. And for us, at least, the difference is, I mean, I think it's fair to say all of the great companies that are doing this are ready to scale and already scaling. The difference with us is we're margin positive already. We already make money on nearly every delivery we do. The only deliveries we don't make money on are the loss leaders, like a pint of milk, a liter of milk, whatever. Those are the ones that get people in the door. But we're actually quite a strong margin already on a per flight basis, and our locations that we open up are profitable already.
So when I order Uber Eats here in my current hometown of Providence, Rhode Island, I often pay slightly higher food prices. I pay a black box of service fees and other things. I pay a delivery fee and then I pay a tip. How does my economics change from the consumer perspective when I'm using one of your drones versus paying Bob to drive around in his Camry?
So I think the way consumers and restaurants, for that matter, should look at this is we're going to drive the marginal cost of drone delivery down to about 20 cents per delivery. And by the end of this year, our marginal cost is already a fraction of what it costs a road-based delivery.
Uh-huh.
And by the end of this year, we'll likely be in the kind of $1 to $2 marginal cost territory. And
Wow.
so the way the consumer should think about this is, well, look, if everything's gone robotic and automated now and digital, why would I need to consider the cost of, the $15 cost plus tip that it takes a guy in a car or a motorbike, whatever it is? So the question is, where does that value go? Who pockets that difference? I think the consumer will definitely pocket some of it. I think the restaurant could pocket some of it. And I think the aggregators are going to do great too. And the other thing is, don't only think about cost. Cost is a given in this case. Think about our NPS, right? Our NPS, the last 5 years we've been flying, is high 80s, early 90s, net promoter score. That's a higher NPS than Apple have or any of the best companies in the world have. And it's not because we're geniuses, it's because the mode of a flying robot carrying your product and getting hot French fries, a hot coffee, not melted ice cream delivered to your back garden in 3 minutes, that it just gets people so excited about buying stuff that you're naturally going to be much happier, and that floats all boats, right? That means that consumers will order more, aggregators will be
Yes.
happy, businesses will be happy, everyone
Yeah.
wins.
I mean, if I could order food from around my town and pay closer to restaurant prices and get it faster and hotter, I'm paying
Yeah,
less for a better service, which means my usage will go through the roof.
yeah,
I mean, and I'm already,
yeah,
I've got young kids. So like there's been many a night when I'm like ordering something at night because I forgot to eat dinner, so this
yeah.
is super pertinent to my needs. Uh, the capital point you made is very interesting to me. It sounds like if you solved the demand side and the getting things down side from drones and getting them up to drones, then all you do need then is capital to build out operations, buy more drones, and land more partnerships. So $50 million in Series B, it's a lot of money. But I do know that some of your competitors in the US are raising nine-figure rounds in the 600, $800 million range. So do you
Yeah.
guys have enough capital to compete if capital has become kind of the bottleneck to growth as you've described it?
Yeah, it's not capital's never been a bottleneck for us. We have never been ready to scale the business yet. Our costs are a fraction of anyone else's. So as we scale, we'll actually generate cash. So our locations, the location we roll out, with say 10 aircraft, is contribution positive day one because we get our
Wow.
demand from aggregators, and then it's producing cash. It pays itself off in somewhere between 7 and 12 months, depending on utilization. So we will use debt for a lot of our growth, and we'll of course use equity as well. So we're match ready. We're fit and ready.
We've got a brand new partner here at Twist. And as fate would have it, we love and use their product. If you need to hire, manage, pay, or equip your team members anywhere around the world, you need Deal. DEEL. They're going to take care of all the annoying human resources tasks that you don't have time for: payroll, compliance, visas, and onboarding so you can stay focused on achieving product market fit or scaling your business or finding more talent. Deal scales with you. They do all your chores, all the hard work, and they do it perfectly from the first hire on. So there's never a need to switch platforms or transition to a new system in the future. It's future proof. And with Deal, you can set up payroll for any country in just minutes and get all the complicated visas and paperwork settled right away, allowing your business to grow without borders. And that's the smart way to grow now. Talent is not limited to San Francisco, the United States, or this continent. It's everywhere. That's why more than 37,000 startups and fast moving companies are already using Deal to accelerate their hiring and growth. Find out more by visiting deal.com/twist. That's DEEL.com/twist. Also, I happen to be a shareholder in the company. I got very lucky. They acquired one of my startups, and I am stoked. It's an amazing company.